Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Monday on The Big Thing. And normally I give the big introduction and all that stuff, and then I reveal my guest.
What? I don't get a big...
No.
I don't get anything.
That kind of is a big one, though.
I was holding out for months, waiting for a big intro. I see the intros that you give, the Coys and the Stephs and the Winstons of the world, the Freddie Prinze Juniors of the world. You're having celebrities on here, and now I just get the short end of the stick.
No, I needed the host of Rotten Tomatoes on here. All right. So,
I'll see if I can call her.
That's what I was hoping for.
He needs some milk.
Yes, he does. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Mark's been watching some stuff on Apple that I've never heard of. He also finally saw the Batman, which is good. We'll talk about that. There's other stuff that he hasn't seen. He's very excited about Turning Red. We've talked about that on this show, but I want to get Mark's perspective on it. And everything else. Has he caught up on anything as far as the Marvel shows, the Star Wars shows, the basketball shows? He's watching that basketball show on HBO Max.
No, the real basketball.
The real basketball. He's also, they use a real basketball in real basketball, apparently. So we're going to talk about that, and then we have to talk about that Obi-Wan trailer. We have to, because we haven't.
Was that out?
Yeah, he and I have been discussing this for years, and we're finally going to talk about it. But before you do any of that stuff, show a little class and subscribe, will you? Hit the like button, notification button, all of it, and let's have some fun. We have interviews on here. We do reviews, reactions, all that stuff. Make sure that you get on over there and do it. And also, please, don't forget, if you missed it, on Friday, Sam Levine and the Barbarian, they went toe-to-toe. I'm not going to spoil the result for you just yet. You should go and check it out and find out, because the winner is playing Marisol McKee on the pay-per-view this Friday. So make sure you get on over there. All right. It's Mark Ellis. It's me. It's The Big Thing. Let's do it. Welcome back to Box Office Sunday. I am me, and he is he. You like that intro?
Yeah, where's my paper to flop around?
The paper to flop around.
Such a good gag.
I thought you forgot about that for a while.
Well, I forgot about doing the show. Oh. I forgot about Box Office Sunday in general. I never will ever forget about the floppy paper trick.
It's more so than just a trick. It's life.
That's a strong word for it.
I think it's wonderful.
Well, it's good to see you, buddy.
You too, man.
It's good to be back here.
Yeah, it's been a bit. But finally got you back in studio. Hopefully make more of a thing out of this so we can do more. No? Anyway.
Oh, I didn't realize you could see me.
Yeah, you're on camera.
Yeah, no, happy to.
Right. You got a great radio voice. And look, I wish I could keep you off camera, but unfortunately I can't. You're in there. But I guess I could.
Hello, friends. Yeah, just take me off air.
You know what I should do is I should get I should get like one of those old cartoons that they made of you. Put that the whole time and just hear your voice.
Well, no, it should just be you doing the show by yourself. But then maybe I can be like the announcer that intros you. Like,
sure.
It's The Big Thing. Party on, Kristian.
We just wake you up like every 35 minutes.
I mean, that's you always hear stories of like especially people who focus on just their vocal talents and they're not necessarily seen. I don't know if they ever have to get out of bed. I mean, that's the goal. Frank Caliendo can call into 900 different sports radio shows, do all of his impressions, all from the comfort of a bathtub or a toilet or a bed. And that's sort of what everybody that I know has seen the future for me. And so now I'm just waiting for that to fully manifest.
It's just called being proactive, my friend. That's all it is.
I'm tired. I'm being too proactive now because I'm still on camera. I'm trying to I do all these things to look handsome, and I'm tired of it.
Well,
I'm tired.
Try to go miracles here. But, the other thing that you mentioned, that gig, Josh Robert Thompson's one of those people, right? Like when he was doing the Craig Ferguson show for the longest time, Jeff the Robot.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as I was talking to him about it, and for a long time, and I think that a lot of people, once you have a specific thing that you're known for, you're like, that's me. Sure, I'll do the voice. But then after you don't do it for a bit, you start to appreciate it more and realize it. And I think that's where he ultimately landed. But yeah, did you ever see the clip from him when he actually did Morgan Freeman for Morgan Freeman?
I have not seen him do Morgan for Morgan. No,
so good.
But that's always like the ultimate test, right? Because you never know. Like John Madden famously forever did not like Caliendo's impression of him, and then I think that they were able to patch it up somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like George Bush enjoying Dana Carvey's impression of George Bush.
Right.
That's the level you want to get to.
Right. So this is Jeff was Josh was doing Jeff for Morgan Freeman. He did it as the robot. So here's the actual clip of Jeff the robot.
Now, you do know that the other night, maybe a week ago, Jeff the robot here did a Morgan Freeman voice all night.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he sound like Morgan?
Well, I think maybe if we could talk about doing it a little bit now, you could maybe judge it. Do you mind?
No, I don't. I'm not.
Well, let's see what it.
Would you like to hear my Morgan Freeman voice?
Look at his face. It's a great clip. You can find this on Josh's channel.
See, when I open my mouth, it makes everything sound smart.
That's outstanding, Jeff.
Yeah, it's outstanding. It's very, very good.
First time I've ever heard myself from the outside.
Yeah. There's through the wormhole keyhole right there. That'd freak you out, that would.
That would.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to say to yourself?
Yeah, what would you say?
I don't know. Think of something nice.
All right. Let's talk about Craig Ferguson.
No!
Go ahead. I dare you.
Damn, you look good.
That's true. He's just so good.
I wonder what it's like to have talent,
I mean,
ability,
that kind of
all
talent,
those things.
Dude, he's so good. I had him on. I think he was like the first when I was doing all those digital interviews. He was like the first one that I did. Like after when we went to lockdown again. And
yeah, it just writes itself. You know, it's the easiest hour a host will ever have. It's just like let me keep teeing you up.
I just threw him bits. I said, "Well, here's we have footage of Morgan Freeman auditioning for Sam Jackson's role in the Star Wars thing," and he just went off and crushed it. You know, he's just so good.
Now, do you feel like you can keep pace? Like do you try to do any of your impressions? Because you got a couple good ones.
We did Busey together, and he was
okay.
We had some fun with that. I did. We did that and. A couple other. The one thing that I'd actually do with him and he'd destroy me on was I would do do you remember back in the day? I'm assuming you were there. Our mutual friend Tom Connolly did an Arnold impression, and he and I did the Arnold off at the comedy things that we did.
I do not remember the Arnold off.
I would always win those, right? But against Thompson, you ever hear Thompson's Arnold?
Oh yeah, you just have guys that once they're able to lock into how to maneuver, how to figure out what the voice is, how to put the time in. It's another level of playing field. So it's like you're Crash Davis, you know. Yeah. You can knock it out of the stadium in the minor leagues, but you get up to the majors, you can have a cup of coffee there. But you're Josh Robert Thompsons of the world.
He's so good. Yeah. He really is. There are a few people out there that are just, obviously our friend Jamie Costa, who they don't do impressions. They become the people, and that's the major trick.
Yeah.
That's the major trick. You can't just try to do the voice. You got to become the person. You got to think like the person. You got to move like the person. Your facial expressions have to do the same thing. So it's and that's what both those guys do. And they can just and when you hear Josh do like Lucas, like he disappears and he becomes George Lucas.
As I witnessed firsthand.
You did.
The hardest break and don't break moment of my entire life.
I'm sure
was having to host that as George Lucas.
I'm sure. Oh, by the way, and speaking of voiceovers and everything too, did you see this Wrestlequest announce trailer? Did you see this?
Do you think I saw it?
No, but do you want to hear it? Listen. I want to show you something.
Okay.
If it starts.
And now, introducing the next great legend of wrestling. From humble beginnings to the electrifying figure, taking the world by storm. Is that you? Bravely embarking on an epic quest. From parts unknown, the journeyman traveling the world to take on
That's great. I'm glad they're giving you stuff to do.
I know.
Get you off the street.
It's because I'm free.
How does that feel? Getting to introduce Randy the Macho Man Savage?
It was pretty fun. Yeah, they asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure, because it's a Skybound thing, and we're doing it for and they'd watched Friday Night Titans, so they're like, hey man, you really do that Michael Buffer, Bruce Buffer thing. Like, you think you can do it for the game? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like it's gonna take like it'll take like an hour of your time. I'm like, it's not gonna take an hour of my time. And
first take.
It was
one
just
take wonder.
It was just a bunch of those lines. It wasn't a matter of how good I am. It's a matter of just a bunch of lines, and you just say you say it into the microphone. You go, and now Marc Ellis, and you just do. How's that? You do 4 different takes, and you send it off.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
it really is true in sports and in entertainment and really in all of life. The best ability is availability. If you're able to do something, you're able to show up, do a good job. That's the key to life, right there.
Yeah, that was it. And it was like, it was very fun to do, and the game's getting the trailer's getting some good buzz on it because it's got a lot of the, I forget how they told me, because I saw a lot of the comments going, how did they get the likeness of all those old school WWE wrestlers? They told me and I forgot, and it was like, oh, there's a wraparound. There's certain wrestlers that they don't own the likeness to, and that they could. I forget how it works.
Well, it's like Tecmo Bowl back in the day, or NBA Jam, because sometimes in Tecmo Bowl you would just have like QB Eagles or whatever, because Randall Cunningham wouldn't sign away his rights, and then you also have a situation like Michael Jordan in NBA Jam. Never got Michael Jordan in NBA Jam, because he was doing his own thing. So there were a couple people like that. But, by and large, it's thrilling for an athlete, or I imagine a wrestler, to be honored in a video game, whether they're current or whether it's like, hey, I used to wrestle back in the 80s and everybody knows me and I was a badass. It's kind of cool to see yourself still relevant,
Yeah, and especially it's also good for the legends, for people who used to watch back in the day that maybe don't watch anymore. Right, and then they see like these old school legends that they love, and here they are, and you're like, okay, I'll play this game. I loved Macho Man back in the day. I loved Andre. Let's see and I like these types of games. So that's what Wrestlequest is, and it looks a lot of fun. I'm excited to play. We're going to try to do some more stuff with them with Schmoes Know also.
Good. I'm excited.
Yeah, you are.
I just, come in here. You're telling me about how great everybody else is.
Oh, well,
a wrestling video game.
Well, look, I'm loving everything you're doing.
Like, what the hell am I here for?
I've been enjoying your shows. I've been watching them all the time.
No, you haven't.
I have.
You've literally done nothing.
I was on your show once.
Which show?
The Rotten Tomatoes show.
Rotten Tomatoes is wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were great with your big painting in the background.
Yeah, that's it. It's just
with your pride and joy.
The horse passed away recently.
That horse did?
The real one, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think like a couple months ago.
Oh, boy. Natural causes?
I don't know. I don't know the horse well enough to know that. I assume so. I mean, how long do horses live?
I don't know. I don't know how else a horse could pass if it's not racing anymore. It probably died in the act of studying, which is how we all should go.
Studying?
Studying.
I know.
Studying.
It's just
the big difference between studying and studying.
Yeah. Should I review? I was going to review. I don't want to do that. I was going to review I went to see my daughter's play last night.
It sounds like a
problem. If somebody wants.
Sounds like an issue, and it also sounds like a views problem.
Like a views problem?
Yeah, it maybe some clicks.
Yeah.
Might be lacking in your review of your daughter's.
No, I'm talking about right now.
First grade play.
I was talking about right now.
I would love to hear how it went. I'm sorry I missed it.
I don't want to put. I don't want to.
I wasn't invited. To be honest with you.
Actually, I was going to invite you today.
I would have gone.
I got an extra ticket tonight. You want to go? So you got something to do now.
I'm performing myself. So.
Oh, see. Well, Yeah, but what?
How big's the crowd there?
4,000.
I'm in.
It's 4,000 people. You can do a set to open up and warm it up.
As long as you introduce me.
Yeah, I don't like the casting choices. That's my review.
You know, like the casting choice, including your daughter. I'm sure she was great.
My daughter needed to do more, but that's I'm being.
What is
I'm
the
being
play?
One of those, Beauty and the Beast.
And who is she?
She should have been Lumiere. She knew the whole thing back and forth, but she got stuck down to be in the baker because she's a 4th grader, and all the 5th graders got the big parts. So I'm being the soccer dad right now.
What does the baker do in Beauty and the Beast other than wave to Belle at the beginning of the movie?
He says Marie, and he tells Marie to get the baguettes, and then he kind of but showing you the comedic timing of my kid. She does the whole, there's a line where Belle's saying something, and he goes, "Yeah, that's nice," but with the timing, you can get a laugh out of it, and she got a laugh. She got
the laugh,
but you're going to respect this note. So there's this thing where they do with all the villagers at one point, and they're talking about Maurice and how nuts he is, and so what they did for this show is they had everybody kind of like laughing, and I go, wait for the timing of it, and when you can wait until it starts to die down, say he's nuts, right? And so she does it, and she does it during the rehearsal, gets a big laugh. She goes, "Dad, I got a big laugh." I go, "All right, we'll try it." I said, "Did the director say anything?" She's like, "No, I shouldn't say anything." I go, "Try it again."
Do it, yeah.
So
better to beg for forgiveness than ask permission.
100%. So she did it in the first show that they did, and the director's like, "Don't try to ad lib. Don't steal."
Come on, Coppola.
100%. Don't steal the spotlight. And Viv was like, I guess I said, Viv, I Bronx tailed her. I said, "You took a shot." I said, what are you gonna do?
Well, because then your loyalties as a parent or as a performer yourself really start to go at odds with one another, because you don't want to steer the kid to like get a bad grade in case there's going to be some sort of fallout from her not performing the play, because writers, directors, they want the credit for everything. Don't ad-lib, don't step out of frame, all that crap. And then you also have the performer in you who's like, I know this is going to kill, so it's okay to paint out the lines this one time. I think you're making the right play here, because the other thing you're doing though is that you're making her more competitive to get that line out. And when she's a fifth grader next year, do we know what the play is next year?
Yeah, but remember, she was Shere Khan before the whole world went to crap. She was Shere Khan. She killed it. She was like and I'm not just saying it because she's my kid. She was the best thing in the whole play.
The villains are more fun to play sometimes.
And she had the timing of it and everything too. I sent you the footage of it when she did it too. And she was great. But like I said, the reason that they cast this play the way that they did is because the fifth graders are leaving, so they gave all the fifth graders the big parts. And the next year she's a fifth grader.
Where are they going? Junior high?
Some of them not going to Juilliard. They're not going to Juilliard, I'll tell you that much.
Like when I was a kid, we graduated high school.
Yeah. That's it.
That was the graduation ceremony. It wasn't every year. Now it's like, it seems like these kids live like the Billy Madison life, right? Where every time they get to another grade, they're just like, all right, bring in the circus, hire the clowns,
everything else.
Let's get a band to play. It's like your kid should now enjoy the summer. That's what your reward is,
right? And you just smashed their iPads.
I know they're the ones that are going to have to deal with, the apocalypse. So I guess let them have their fun while they can.
Agreed. I know you've been doing the. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't. I was going to bring.
What you set me up for?
I was going to set you up for something else. But
throw me under the bus.
Nah, I'm not going to set you up for this one because I don't think that.
I don't know what he was going to say, folks.
Yeah, I was going to talk about some of your sports stuff that you do. We'll talk about that later. There's something else.
I know they do a lot of sports stuff.
No, you watch a lot of sports stuff. It's true. But I wanted to tell you guys about NORDVPN, and I've talked to you guys about NORDVPN. And the main thing for myself and Mark and everybody, the security of our crew and our audience, it's always very important to all of us. And so one of the main reasons that I've been using NORDVPN, it's fast, it's a secure service, it significantly boosts your online privacy and your security. What NordVPN does, it enables and encrypts your traffic on both the web and mobile that you have to, you don't have to worry about unsecure websites or apps that you're using. It's pretty great, especially if you're running around on the road. And now that we're back in the studio, it's refreshing because you don't have to worry about what's going on behind the unsecured public Wi-Fi network. If I have to email somebody, or if I'm managing documents, or if I'm talking to people on social media, I know that my phone and I know that my laptop, it's all secure because that's what NordVPN does. It makes it very easy to switch my virtual location. Just one click. That's it. You can access streaming stuff all over the place, and especially somewhere like Netflix overseas. You just go to nordvpn.com/bigthing, and you head on over to nordvpn.com/bigthing. You can use that code. We are very excited to be working with Nord, and if you don't know about them, learn about them. And you can grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to and using that code BIGTHING. Use the huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus one additional month for free and a bonus gift. And it's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. But you have to use that code BIGTHING or nordvpn.com/bigthing. All right.
Yeah, I need a NordVPN for my real life. I use them online.
Yeah.
But my real existence, you know what I'm going to say this is the longest time that I ever spent looking for my keys this morning.
What happened? I do it all the time.
My car key and my house key are separate. Or they're on separate. Occasionally they unite, but sometimes I take them off because sometimes I'm just taking the dog for a walk. I don't want to lug my car key around. Yeah. So I wake up this morning. I'm going to the gym, and I got to be at the gym by 5:50. So I wake up around 5. I get up, and I'm looking everywhere. Can't find the keys. So what I end up doing is I just leave, and I leave some doors unlocked so that I know I can get back in because I don't want to wake anybody up now. I'm looking everywhere. I am looking in the freezer. I am looking in the pantry. No keys anywhere.
Okay.
Spent another hour searching for it after I got back from the gym before I came to here, and I got a text from a neighbor, and I'm not sure exactly how they came about them yet, because there was a spill outside that I cleaned up myself, so I'm a nice guy. Right. I don't know if I dropped them then, but Kristian, I fear, and I think you've done this before once in your life too. I think I got home, and I think I was tired. Yeah. I didn't imbibe at all.
Okay.
No drinking.
Okay.
Got home, and I think I left my keys.
Where?
In the door.
Look, I'm not going to really give you too much crap on that. I've done it.
Who does that as an adult, though?
I've done.
I mean, maybe we all have done it.
I think even my wife, who's way more responsible than either one of us, has done that before. Where you just coming in a rush, you left it into the door. Where is it? It's normally my wife loses her phone all the time. I lose my keys all the time. And what I did,
rather lose keys, I think.
Yeah,
this day and age, rather lose keys.
It's way more. It's way more. It's there's more stress with the phone loss. That one I don't lose, but the keys. Oh man, this was a good one. So, and I definitely blame my wife for the last time I lost them for a while. Like, so she had.
That sounds like a fight you're gonna lose.
She had used them. What did she? She used them for something. I went to the beach with the little one or something, and then came back and I couldn't find them. And I'm like,
it's got to be her fault.
It's been over a month and I couldn't find them. Right. So I'm like, you had to have. I'm like, I didn't go anywhere with them. You had to have. She's like, I'm telling you, I didn't.
Is that the tone of voice you used?
Yes. 100%.
Was it
yeah, I actually wasn't upset at all,
Okay.
and because we had another set of keys for the car, so we were just using that set. But for the longest time, we couldn't find them at all. So the other night we went out on a date.
Hey,
and it was cold outside. We went somewhere. You know, it was pretty cold. So grab a jacket that I haven't worn in about a month. And
there it is.
Lo and behold, and then I did one of these moves. I said, "Hey, let me." And she wore a jacket that she hadn't worn in a little bit. I go, I heard something in your jacket.
You a-hole.
And then I go, but very, very like,
that's hilarious. Yeah,
just very not discreet about it. And I go, oh, like a bad magic trick. Oh, and she's like, where were you, fucking asshole? And so
that's the thing about your wife. She is such a great bullshit detector.
Oh yeah,
she cuts right to the core. Like if she was on Double Dare, she wouldn't even need to mess around with all that pudding. She knows exactly where the red flag is every 100%. Time. She just reaches in, pulls out a red flag every time.
That's it. That's your only Double Dare reference that you're allowed to make on this show.
Oh come on, I haven't done one in so long.
All right, you get 5.
I used to do a joke about it. I can't remember what it was, but it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. Mark Summers' name.
Yes,
on the Comedy Store wall.
Did you ever see that? You've had to have seen that clip with Mark Summers and Burt Reynolds, right?
I don't believe I have.
Are you kidding?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, they get into I have to bring this up.
They get in a fight?
Yeah, Mark Summers and Burt Reynolds are a real asshole to him. I can't believe you've never seen this before.
I can't believe.
So if anybody has,
you guys should have seen how Kristian dispelled Mark Summers and Burt Reynolds.
Whatever.
Did you have finger removal surgery and replace them with JT?
I type with my fat thumbs all the time, and things are misspelled.
No, nobody knows about fat digits like me.
Is this it? Okay, so I don't know how much of this I can do.
Oh my gosh. Felix Unger, I'm a neatness fanatic, so it's just kind of weird that I've been, for the last 9 years, doing that kind of TV. And we've done some weird things on the show. We once filled a container with 4,000 pounds of baked beans and made kids dive into it, which was really great.
Gee, I wish I'd seen that.
You would.
You make the kids. I mean, you force the child, you hold the child's head under the baked beans, and then you throw them out. And then
we have an obstacle course.
Who told you you were a neatness freak?
I
just say that because your back is to me, and I was just talking to a back.
No, I can talk to you too, Burt.
Thank you.
Watch out, he's got scissors.
He's got scissors.
No, I was just wondering who told you that, because...
My wife tells me that often.
She says, good morning,
I'm still married, as a matter of fact.
Yes, well, you...
That's the Burt and Lonnie time, right?
See what he dumped water on him. Look.
You're not a neatness freak anymore.
Not a neatness freak anymore. I think he got...
Neatness freak goes right away.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
great. That could be a sort of assault. If that happens today... All right, so and there's more, because I think he nails them. I think what does he do? They do like a thing at the end.
Well, yeah, they probably had...
No, look, yeah, they do.
Thank you, Fabio.
Oh, yeah.
Your show all the time, Win, Lose, or Draw. I used to love that show.
It's funny, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, we were talking about being a neatness fanatic.
Yes, talking about being a neatness fanatic. But you started out as a magician, if I'm not mistaken.
What's this?
Oh,
that's all right. Thank you.
Wait, I think
about a week and a half later it came.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He nailed... And then
I'm full on Team Summers here.
Of course. Burt was being a real asshole to him. And then they did this, but watch. They hit each other in the face with pies.
Mm-hmm.
And
he goes at it.
But what's his face? Burt hits him hard.
Yeah.
Okay, watch. the back to back.
Yeah.
Ready? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's a good smash.
Burt like was looking to knock him out.
Yeah.
Like, so if you guys have never seen that clip,
I just love when actors take themselves that serious. Anybody takes themselves that seriously.
Yeah, he was
like,
really
like because I know exactly. I think I do where Burt was coming from. Where he's thinking like, I'm this esteemed, regal, prestigious A-list actor, and this guy's
football god.
This guy's some game show host,
right?
And so he's like talking down to him, and it's like, dude, you're playing pretend. You know, you play pretend for. a living.
he was complete. He was definitely playing up the villain on it, and like, but Mark Summers has talked about that many times. I'm so shocked you never heard of that before.
No, I had never heard.
Wow.
But you know me, I don't actually enjoy. If I see a conflict, I want to help out and resolve it as quickly as possible. I don't want to escalate it. Now maybe it got
You watched
better.
a lot of those Twitter
ratings.
fights that I sent you over the years. Remember those the 30-second fights that I would find?
Well, yeah, but those are like, those aren't necessarily uncomfortable. Those are two people who actually are doing what I want to do, solve the situation as quickly as possible. But when it festers, when there's just like an uncomfortableness, that's when I want to step in and mediate.
Yeah,
I get Leno is looking at this and he's like, this is kind of ratings gold.
Yeah.
So let me milk this for all it's worth. Adam Ray, by the way, great Leno on the Tommy and Pamela show.
Yeah, it was, and it was for what he was asked to do. I think he did a phenomenal job. There was when he first started it up, it was like I was worried not on his part. I thought he crushed it. I was worried it was going to be a little too cartoony in the directing of it. But he wind up the way that he wound up bringing it towards reality. I thought was really
when
good.
He is actually when you get to see Leno in the writers' room, and he's just sitting around in his denim and just sort of kicking stuff around.
Yeah,
it was like that's when I felt like I've never seen this. I believed it was Leno, but I've never seen this Leno before.
Yeah,
where he's just kind of like, you know, throwing around jokes and like yes and no, and then and you go back and you watch some of those monologues that were happening about that tape at that time.
Did you watch
have you seen the show?
Yeah, I did. I watched the whole thing.
It's great.
It's really good.
It really does put an exclamation point on, and there's a couple scenes between Tommy and Pamela in the show where you realize like this is actually a pretty nice feather to have in Tommy Lee's cap, so to speak. Even though he didn't want the tape out, I'm not saying that, but the tape comes out and it affects him very differently, than it did Pamela.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, look, there's a lot of things too. I mean, it was when they were talking. When was the last time you seen Barbed Wire? By the way,
I don't think I've ever.
It's atrocious.
Well, I can imagine it's not the best comic book film.
So
it's not The Dark Knight.
No, it had nothing to do. Like they were playing. It certainly didn't help that tape came out around the same time, right? But it had nothing to do with why the movie failed. The movie was terrible. Tamora Morrison, by the way, is in that movie. He's like one of the main,
is he really?
He's one of the main guys. But that doesn't mean that you do. She is the pure victim inside of all of this when you watch it and you see it. And Lily James does such a great job.
Oh man,
really good job and they both do. Sebastian Stan as well. And it's funny because when you look at, did you look at Seth Rogen? Is pretty much just playing Seth Rogen in the whole show. He's Seth Rogen the whole show.
The only
but
thing I got.
He has more of an advantage to do that than Sebastian Stan and Lily James.
Yeah, because we have no idea who that guy.
Who is that guy? No one knows who that guy is. So it's like you can, because when you look at the side by side pictures, like when you look at Tommy Lee and Pam, look just like him. He looks nothing like this guy. The costuming and the incredible. I felt like I was in the mid-90s. It was incredible.
I did too. I was a little lukewarm on the show the first episode or two.
Oh, okay. Because you were a little too over the top with the talking penis?
It wasn't the talking penis that did it. I was already, by that point, I was like, this just feels a little too, I don't know, it felt like heightened reality or something like that.
Like Pain and Gain?
Sort of, yeah. But then it settled into it, or maybe the edible kicked in, and I just and I got into a nice pace with it, and then I really thought it was one of the better shows that I've seen in a long time that dealt with an actual thing that went on.
Yeah, they toned it down. They toned it down for sure, because I think that if you would have done that for the entire series, that would have been tiresome. I didn't mind it in the context of how they used it.
You had to show the way they were living and the excess of the time,
right? And And I think because it could have gone so dramatic and made you feel so icky about what happened, that by putting that kind of humor in it, it gives you that feel of, okay, this is a comedy, but they're not disrespecting ultimately everything that, like, if they would have done that kind of stuff with the ramifications of the sex tape and all that, then
you have an issue.
Then you have an issue. But this is like you said, this is as they were meeting and the craziness, the rock star who, like all of that.
And they never put too fine of a point on it, which is actually what I appreciate about the show in later episodes, is that it was never overtly like, hey, the 90s are here. Motley Crue is a relic of the 80s. But there were hints of that. And I love the scene when Tommy rolls up to the studio and he's hanging out with Nikki and they realize that they don't have the A studio anymore.
Yeah.
And they walk in, they're like, who is it, Fall Out Boy or somebody's in there?
Yeah.
And it's
Third Eye Blind, right?
I can't remember who it was, but they're like, hey, we don't care about you anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think that was more so the point, because I was looking at the real facts, and that they and I think that the Motley Crue disputed that ever happened, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Seems like something Motley Crue would want to own.
But the gangster stuff, Dice was great. Dice was great. And that whole thing was
Nick
true.
Offerman was great too.
Yeah, and all that stuff was the truest to all of it. Like, that dude had to start collecting bounties for that dude, for the gangster, and how much money the other guy hauled ass and took off. He was really married to that porn star. Like, they played a lot in reality. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this, but when we were shooting Grasping at Straws, and then when we were at Silver, there was an intern, super sweet girl, Allie Krug.
It's a great question. No.
So she's an executive producer on that show now, and she is like.
Did she hook us up with some stuff at Comic-Con?
No. That was somebody else. That was Andy who does the
Andy.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Allie Krug.
I'll get your first letter of your name.
It's true. No, Allie Krug couldn't be a nicer human being. She's a sweetheart, and I saw recently she was listed in the or a couple of years ago, she was listed as one of the under whatever it was age-wise top executives to look out for. And this, I've known her since like
not an underage executive.
Well, no, under a certain age. No, she's 14 and she's making moves.
The top kid executives greenlighting moves.
It's true. It's like that Frankie Muniz movie. There's a Frankie Muniz pool. What was that movie that he did when he was like, the kid had it was that and Brian.
Agent Cody Banks?
Yeah, is that what it was? Agent Cody Banks. And then there was another one, the kid from Family Ties. Not Michael J. Fox, the other kid. The little kid with the blonde hair. He did a movie too. Something like that. I don't know what the hell that was. What was that kid's name?
Why you tune into the big thing?
Exactly
I don't know.
right.
Are you thinking of the kid from Growing Pains, Mike Seaver's little brother?
No, that's Ben.
He was in some stuff. Yeah, he was in some stuff.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Kirk Cameron's saving Christmas. I mean, a lot of these stars are doing big things now.
Kirk Cameron needs to save his Twitter account.
Well, I think it's easier to save Christmas than Kirk Cameron's Twitter account.
Anyway, so before we get into anything else, I do want to also tell you guys about what I've been talking about. Mark and I, since the Schmoes Know days, ladies and gentlemen, MeUndies. MeUndies. We've been working with MeUndies forever.
Long-time friends of the show.
Oh, love MeUndies. And MeUndies we've been working with since the Schmoes Know days and Sith Council. If you guys watch Sith Council, we've been still working with them since we brought Sith Council back, or invented it, I should say. And what is something that you guys look forward to waking up every morning? For me, it's coffee. It's my dog.
Finding my keys.
Finding your keys. Maybe it is the face of someone you love. MeUndies wants to add to it. So start your mornings with your favorite underwear. And it's not just any underwears, but ridiculously soft undies with ridiculous prints that make picking out underwear actually pretty fun. Do you still have a lot of the stuff that they sent us back in the day for Schmoes?
I have a couple of them, yeah.
So
I mean, they long-lasting is one of the things that should be noted if it isn't.
No joke. I remember back when we were doing Schmoes, they had like they sent me the pizza ones. And they're my favorite. I've had them forever, and they feel like they're like brand new. They wash well. They don't fade. It's fantastic and super soft.
Not pizza you want to eat necessarily.
Well, what underwear do you always pick from your drawer? Is it comfy? Is it cute? It can be both. All right, MeUndies, it makes the softest fabrics you ever put on your body. And as I said before, like anytime that I know that I've got to pick out underwear for the day, and I've got MeUndies there, they're always the first. They're the starters. Always using them because you can just sit on your couch all day or go out and live your comfiest life. So once you try, you got to try the undies, the socks. I'm wearing the sockies. I'm wearing the sockies right now.
I'm looking at them.
Yeah, I'm wearing them, and you'll never go back. You can choose from a range of limited edition prints. They have Star Wars stuff. They have tons of stuff, and the colors and sizes from extra small to 4 extra large. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, which is great. And that's the one I really recommend, where you get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. Plus, you enjoy discounted pricing, free shipping, and exclusive early access to new launches. Now, MeUndies has a great offer for Big Thing listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you're going to get 15% off and free shipping. Come on. MeUndies also has their promise. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, you can return your order to a full refund within 45 days. So to get 15% off your first order and free shipping, you have to go to MeUndies.com/bigthing. Link is in the description. And that's MeUndies.com/bigthing. I love that we're working with them again.
It's funny how like you look at your drawers with clothes in them, and you always have your starters and your bench players. Yeah. Like I've probably worn this on the show 5 times.
I don't think I've seen anything else
because it's like I do laundry. I have a washer. I have a dryer. Probably where the keys were hiding, and I used it.
Yeah.
I use it liberally.
Yeah, you have your favorite stuff.
Yeah, and so then you open it up, and it's like you look at that like pair of boxers. It's like in the back, and it's like not today, Sparky. Maybe someday. You're too rigid, or you're too uncomfortable, or I should have thrown you out a long time ago. But I'm keeping you around for sentimental purposes. It's one of the things I'm trying to eliminate from my life is like any sentimentality whatsoever.
Really?
Just get rid of it.
See, I'm the opposite.
Just get rid of it.
I can't do it. I'm going to have shoes. I'm going to have 75 different pairs of shoes for my kids that are never going to get thrown away.
Once you have kids,
that's what I mean. I can't.
You got to keep all that crap because they might want it. My mom's going through that right now.
But it's also I'm like it with we were cleaning out the closet, and my wife was like, I can't throw these out. I'm like, nah, you can't throw those out. Like, it's like, you remember when Vivi had these on and she did this? Like, yeah, whoever's going to use them ever again, who knows? But you just can't.
Probably not her. She's probably grown out of it.
Yeah, I know. But
but
who knows? Like you said, maybe they're in good condition. Maybe your kid uses it down the line. I don't know.
So there's 3 kids in the family, right? And mom always like threatens to sell the house.
I got confused for a second. I thought you were talking about me, and I'm like, I have another one I don't know about.
I have 3 children.
Okay.
And so like she'll do like a biannual phone call to each one of us and be like, hey, I'm really selling this time.
Yeah.
Really gonna put it on the market. So I need you kids to come home and look at your closet and see if there's anything you want.
Yeah.
And the last time that happened, fairly recently, both my brother and my sister were like, I don't care, throw it all away. And I was like, do not touch my closet. I need to fly home and I need to see what athletic merchandise is in there.
Yeah.
What gaming merchandise is in there, the comic books that are in there could be valuable, could be my retirement.
See, that's exactly right, because my you're lucky that your mother did that.
I'm hoarding from afar.
Yeah, my mother did nothing of the sorts, and
she just threw it out.
And this is when I was like 18. All my Star Wars stuff, all my great stuff that I had, all my the G.I. Joe,
could have been valuable
easily. She didn't give a shit, right out the door. Right. Whether she gave it away or whatever it went. My dad had these old school, like Sports Illustrated, like the old. I mean, you're talking 60s,
you're gonna
70s,
break my heart.
All gone, all gone. She just tossed them all out. And then there was also I mean, they were all baseball cards and everything. I can't even, thousands of dollars. My mother.
He could have had a Sports Illustrated around that time with Cassius Clay on the cover.
There's no doubt. Dude, he had a subscription from the 60s and the 70s, whenever it was, and there were tons of them in the attic. She got rid of all. I mean, I'm telling you, my mother threw out thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and just like taking up space. I bet your mom, and she does not suffer fools. She does not. I'm telling you, she watches. Oh, that's. Well, no one else. Your father should have picked him up. That's what should have happened.
Oh, your son's a doctor? Well, mine does voiceover on the wrestling video games.
He might. Your son is doing. Oh, he made that much money. My son got in trouble for screaming about a theme park on the internet.
My son introduced Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, very proud of my son. Anyway, so let's talk. Let's talk about Obi-Wan, because you and I have been debating this for years.
We have.
So, what'd you think of the trailer?
Loved it.
See, son of a bitch.
Absolutely. I didn't say I wouldn't love it.
What about?
I never said that.
But were you waiting to see Anakin?
My point that I was making was that I didn't need to see another fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader to complete my Star Wars existence.
Were you still?
And I still don't.
But were you waiting to see him in the trailer?
No. I thought they would hold that back.
Yeah.
And so I get the breathing. Like they've done that before in trailers, and it's always awesome.
I'm glad they didn't show him, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel like look, is it going to be awesome? This is the way I sort of contextualize it, is like you can look at my football team right now. We just picked up Carson Wentz to be our quarterback.
Yeah.
Am I thrilled about that move?
How do I know?
The answer is no.
Okay.
Not at all. But am I still going to be cheering for them week 1?
Right, of course.
Of course I am.
Right.
So maybe Star Wars doesn't always go the way that I think it should go, but I'm a dope. So I'm still going to show up. And if I like something that I see, I'm going to love this show.
Right.
No, will I have questions about how it all ties to the canon that I at least knew from the classic trilogy? Sure I am.
So do you right now, though, do you think that Darth Vader should be in this series? Right now, from the way that they set it up after watching the trailer, do you think he should be in the series?
I don't have a problem with him being in the series.
Okay.
Should or shouldn't.
It depends on how it's executed.
It depends on how much, I think, because you don't and again, my fear with this was that it was just going to be leaning too much on Darth Vader.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because they saw everybody love Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One, which I did too. It was great. Yeah. But if that's the sort of thing that we get, that I'm totally on board. And you look at, everybody's going to have the question like, well, why is he still going by Luke Skywalker if they're trying to hide him? It's another galaxy. Let's just relax.
Well, I think that what they're going to do is I think it'll be sprinkled in a little bit more than Rogue One, but similar to what they did in Rebels. And with Rebels, he was in it a good amount. But
Vader?
Yeah, but he was sprinkled in at points where it was relevant to it, and they're going to lean heavy the same way they did in Rebels on the Inquisitors, right? And the Inquisitors are going to be kind of hunting them down and doing everything that they have to do, and Vader will be there because I think you are going to get a flashback with Hayden and Ewan McGregor.
It's got to be why do you put him? You just put him in the suit. That was my reaction when I first saw Hayden, and everybody was like, "I can't believe this is so awesome." I'm like, is he going to be doing anything else other than
got to do a flashback,
hiding behind a suit?
Well, we just talked about the deepfake stuff, right? And you don't have to massively deepfake him. You just got to take So I watched. Did you watch the Adam Project?
No.
Oh, it's good, man. You like it?
I heard it's good. Yeah,
it's good. I finished it, but they do a deepfake for Catherine Keener in it, right?
Oh, and she's a gem.
And so they I actually think that I think they did de-aging, which is more noticeable.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
there's a difference between
nomenclature is.
Yeah, there's a de-aging thing and then there's deepfake, right?
Yeah,
so
they're two separate offices.
Yes, so de-aging is what they did for Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian season 2.
Uh-huh.
Deepfake is what they did for Luke Skywalker in Boba Fett.
Okay, which one did you like better?
Deepfake, 1 billion%. It's not noticeable. It's not as noticeable. It's almost like, holy crap, how did they do that? Some people even thought, what did they get, an actor that looks just like Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
And they got a guy that does it on YouTube, Shamook, I believe is the guy's name, and he reimagined that Luke one from Mandalorian and deepfaked it, and then he got a job at
That's
Lucasfilm.
how he got the gig. Yeah. That's right. I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
So, and he was great, and I think they're going to use him as they should, and they'll de-age or deepfake a younger version of Hayden onto himself, right? And it'll be easier to do. And then you'll see some flashbacks in Clone Wars, and they'll have a few conversations, which can then piece into a few things that lead up to it. The bigger question I have, and I would assume the answer to this is Force Ghost. Hayden has been announced to be in the Ahsoka series. And that takes place during the time of Mandalorian and Jedi. So he's got to be either Force Ghost or flashbacks.
Yeah, so what is, you know how I feel about this whole Vader being redeemed thing, where it's like, it's cute you apologize to your kid right before you died, but
he did some stuff.
There's some other stuff. So what is your Force Ghost like? Are you like Jacob Marley, where you just got to drag around a bunch of chains, but you still also get to be blue? You just get to hang out because the end of Return of the Jedi, he's just hanging out. Now, what I think is that in the next life, they're like, look, douche. We're going to let you have this photo op to make your kid happy. We're not doing this for you.
Right.
We're doing this for the fans. And so Luke gets to see him, and Luke's like, oh, good, Dad's in a better place. As soon as that photo op was done, I think that they send Darth Vader down to the basement, and they're like, you are going to be mining souls or whatever you do in the next life for eons before we ever let you see the light of day.
Yeah, I know. It's like one of those things where he's just... So you didn't see Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier, did you?
I've seen parts.
So there's a thing that he has to do after, because of all the stuff that he's done, because you feel the same way about the Winter Soldier, right? And
put him on ice forever, or just kill him.
I actually think there's a major difference between the Winter Soldier and Anakin, but the Winter Soldier had to go around and apologize to all the people and make amends to everything that he had done.
It's like a 12-step.
1,000% is what it was, and I think that's the same type of thing. Anakin Force Ghost. The difference is,
dear Lord, please grant me the strength to not murder any superheroes' parents.
But that's the thing. The Winter Soldier was not his. It wasn't him. It was a program where his mind was melted and he didn't even know what the hell was going on. Right? Anakin made the choice to slaughter Mace Windu and then become a douche on wheels.
To go to the dark side.
Yeah, he made a choice.
If I was prosecuting this, or rather, if I was the defense attorney for Darth Vader, then I would say, like, well, look, his mind was also manipulated by this overwhelming dark side of the Force kind of thing.
But that's different, though. But you're still you had, but he had the choice when he's right there with me. Mace is like, take him in with me. He had the choice. He could have. Everyone's talking to him. His hubris, his anger, the love, the passion. He made the choice. Winter Soldier didn't make the choice. He was sitting in and got a bunch of shit stuck into his head.
But I could also counter that by saying that who do we want to hang out with now? Because I at least feel like Anakin, he did atrocious crimes for many, many years. Yeah. But I do buy the fact that if he survived, he would have been like, no, I'm not going back to that way of life. You know, problem with the Winter Soldier.
Guy always had anger issues, man.
Again, I don't know how many deep codes that they implanted into his head. And so he goes to Wakanda and they kind of cure him of maybe one of those string of commands. Maybe there's another command that you just say soup, apples, beef, and then he just starts murdering people again. Put him on ice.
But see, I
get him out of here.
Him, I give a little bit more because make
him play a Motley Crue drummer before
his real personality. He's a good guy. Anakin's real personality. He has the tendencies to snap. And he even did it. Even look at how he was trying to coerce freaking Padme in the first place. In episode 2, he's like a creepy stalker. Like, yes, my lady.
Your Honor, permission to strike that from the record because sand was involved.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, doesn't like sand. So, okay, you're asking for my honesty here with this Obi-Wan trailer. And again, I'm not going to be beholden to anything I said 2 or 3 years ago. But I know the internet works like that.
Yeah.
I have the right to change my mind.
Of course you do.
Did you... And we go back a ways here. Did you ever think that there was another battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, between Mustafar to A New Hope?
At what point are you asking me that question?
That's
ever?
Exactly.
Are you asking ever?
I'm going to, obviously, ever.
I always thought it was open-ended, and I'll tell you what.
You always thought it was open-ended?
I always thought it was open-ended because of the line that was given in Return of the Jedi. And more so open-ended, I think, after Revenge of the Sith. Is when I was more open-ended.
Okay.
Not before the prequels. I think more open-ended after that, because what you see in Revenge of the Sith, he's going to Mustafar not because he thinks there's good left in Anakin. He's going there. Yoda says you got to go there and get him because he's gone. This is a Sith, and he's
take
like,
care of it.
And he's like, yeah, and he's going there to kill Anakin.
I don't want to know how you do it.
Yeah,
take care of the problem.
Going there to kill him, and when he goes there, he goes and he fights him, and he knows, and he just gives him one. He gives one question. You know, to see, he's like, okay, this guy's far gone. I got to kill him. I got to take him out. And he let his body burn, and he figures that he's dead. When Padme is dying with ooh-bah, when she's dying there, she says to Obi-Wan, they're still good in him. I know that they're still good in him. At what point does Obi-Wan think that? He doesn't think that at all. So then in Return of the Jedi, Luke says to him, Father, they're still good in you. And he's like, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. When? When did he think that?
Mm-hmm.
So now I think that's when we're going to see that.
I could answer that in very simply that he still thought there was good in Anakin, and I think part of that was when he went to Mustafar and asked him the question. He did ask him a question, but he gave him an opportunity. Did he not?
He didn't really. Did
he give him an opportunity?
He was asking questions, but he didn't say, I still think there's good in you, the way, because it was Padme that says to him on that table, there's still good in him. I believe it. And Obi-Wan's thinking about it, and he's like, I don't know. And that's what they're going to play off of in this episode.
I think if you're Anakin, when you're fighting him on Mustafar, you're looking at that question, and you're like, this dumb idiot thinks that they're still good in me. I'm all bad, baby. That's how I read it.
Kill him, dude.
And I think that is what we were set to believe. And so now
he says it. He said, "You brought him here to kill me."
I do feel like we're massaging the canon a little bit. And again, I'm fine with that. The canon could be a living, breathing thing that maybe trade some things. And just like I don't want to be totally beholden to whether I still think 13 hours is 5 out of 5 schmoes. It is. Then I don't think that the canon should be subject to like, well, Obi-Wan said this in 1977, but it just, and so my hesitation with this is not that I never want to see Vader again or even have them have a skirmish. I just don't want a show about Obi-Wan to be too reliant on Darth Vader.
I agree.
Because that feels like you're grasping at straws to be like, hey, remember this cool character?
Right.
Please watch our show. I don't think they need that.
No, it shouldn't. That shouldn't be the only thing.
Yeah.
It should be part of the overall soup of what this thing is, right?
Yeah.
It should be the idea. And he says it. It's a great line of like he's broken down, he's beaten, he feels that they've lost. You know, he's trying.
I loved that where they're just like it's like you're recouping from getting knocked out of the tournament in the first round last year.
They got their asses kicked, right? And you saw it in episode 4 when he's like before the Empire, before the dark times. Like that's been weighing on him, and you see that throughout. And he's just trying to make his way and like blend in on Tatooine, looking after this kid. Owen wants nothing to do with him, and he's got all that stuff. Plus, now you got the Inquisitors hunting for all the Jedi and trying to figure out, you know, how to wipe everyone out. He's got to do so much, and plus, now you see him on a different planet, so he's probably dealing with other things. There's a lot of stuff that he's dealing with right now.
I want to see Biggs. I want to see Biggs Darklighter be the guy that sells Luke a fake ID and a fake passport, so that's how nobody knows that it's Luke. Like he was just buying converters at Tashi Station, and he used a fake ID, and they're like, "Well, it's not Skywalker. This guy's name is McLovin." So no, it's somebody else.
Yeah, that was bad storytelling by Georgie. It really was.
Here's the thing. I feel like I'm going to be fine with this, whatever Vader's involvement is, if I still need to bridge those, maybe 10 years between this show
and Revenge of the Sith
and A New Hope? No.
Oh.
This show and A New Hope.
Yeah, about 9 years. 8 to 9 years, yeah.
What I need to bridge that, because Obi-Wan is markedly older than Ewan McGregor looks in this show. So what I need...
You ever see what one sun can do to someone's skin?
I've been to Florida.
Yes.
The question that I need answered is, what did Obi-Wan experience? And we'll probably see that play out during the events of the show that aged him up.
Right.
You know,
well,
because he's going to see some
Owen
stuff.
too. Owen as well. I mean, Owen. You look at Owen, and that's only like what, 19 years in between Revenge of the Sith and Owen and Beru. They aged quick.
I want to see Joel Edgerton just walking around, just doing nothing but mumbling about the goddamn Jawas.
That's right. Well, look,
goddamn Jawas.
The Owen stuff. I think they're really they have to explore. I think that's gonna be a big thing with him and Kenobi.
Well, you got Joel Edgerton.
That's right. And Deborah Chow says as much. Deborah Chow says as much. She said, "Thank you to George for giving us Joel Edgerton," and that's all I'll say about that.
That's right. Yeah.
So like she's very excited about that too, and we're gonna. You even see it, even though it looks like the Inquisitor, the new Inquisitor. What's her name? Reva comes in, and she's basically questioning or talking to everybody inside of the square. Now, what I'm guessing, is that when you see that the boots that are hanging in that scene, it's got to be either Jedi or something that's kind of run to Tatooine, maybe to warn Obi-Wan or something, and so they're on the search for him, and maybe that's when, because you see that scene when she's talking and Owen is just like, all right, this is getting worse and worse and worse.
A couple quick rapid fire questions for you.
Yeah.
And this is, do we or do we not see the following characters?
Yeah.
And I'm going to lump them together to start out. R2-D2, C-3PO. Do we see them?
Yes, because I think Jimmy Smits is in this, from what the rumor is.
Our boy.
I think he's got both of them. So yeah, I do.
Okay. Yoda?
No.
Darth Maul?
No. And all that, and that report was debunked also.
I didn't see a report.
There was a report that he was in the original TV script by the Hollywood Reporter, and then Pablo Hidalgo said this is utter bullshit.
Okay.
So.
Jabba the Hutt.
Nah, you stay away from it.
Salacious Crumb.
Nah, you stay away from it.
Okay. The announcers from the Boonta Eve Classic.
If you want me to stop watching this show.
Come on. It's us. If we were ever going to be in Star Wars,
subtitles.
That's the opportunity.
Give them subtitles as stupid NASCAR voices. And now coming around the corner, blah, 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 blah. It's terrible. But you know who?
That's literally how you and I would do it.
Who you didn't ask about
in outer space. I'm not done yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Princess Leia.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's all you got?
That concludes my question.
You don't ask Qui-Gon first?
I have a feeling I would bet more on Qui-Gon being in the show
100%.
than I would Yoda.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that you're probably going to at least have a line from old Frank. I think that there's going to be some sort of
maybe there could be. I mean,
some sort of Raven.
Well, they set it up in Rebels that he's communicating for sure, and I think that. But
you're saying no shot, lead pipe lock, no Darth Maul.
No Maul.
Okay.
At that point, where Maul is at what they've set up, he's running Crimson Dawn from what we see in Solo. He's running.
This is where your brain is bigger than mine. How do the Crimson Dawn folk feel about the Inquisitors, about the Empire, about Vader? Are they tight? Do they play softball?
I don't think they play together. Because
are they aware of each other? I mean, obviously Crimson Dawn's aware of them.
Maul had serious beef with Palpatine again. They fought. Him and his brother fought against Palpatine. Palpatine whooped that ass.
Darth Maul shows up. He's like, "Hey, not only am I going to kick your ass, my brother Jerry is home from college."
Yeah, and Palpatine took him out, killed his brother, wiped him out.
His brother's just wearing like a Canisius sweatshirt.
Yeah, they were trying to play to his ego. They had a Palpatine jersey on, but it just swept it right off. Who would you bet to win in on that fight? If you had Palpatine versus Vader and Maul, who would you bet on? And before you answer that, if you really want to take some bets, ladies and gentlemen, you go to MyBookie. You go to MyBookie. That's what you do. Have you gone to MyBookie? Have you done it? I've been talking about it. You should do it. And the madness has officially begun. It is time for you guys to shoot your shot and score big on the nonstop action. We got to use MyBookie.
Very exciting Sweet 16 coming up.
Well, there you go. And it doesn't matter whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or you're simply looking for player and game props. MyBookie has you covered. So if you sign up today at MyBookie and you use that code BIGTHING to secure a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. It's simple. You put in $200 and you play with $300. You got to use that promo code, though. Big thing to claim your bonus. You got college ball, you got NBA, you got UFC. No matter the sport, no matter the minute, MyBookie puts the action in your hands with in-game live betting. And with choice from thousands of lines and odds, you can turn any game day into payday. You bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Use MyBookie.
All right, if I was on MyBookie, I would bet. Here's the issue I have. I'm gonna bet Maul and Vader win, and I'm doing that because I saw with my own eyes Vader defeat a very distracted Emperor Palpatine at the end of Return of the Jedi.
But he did it with goodness.
He did it with
goodness. He did it on. He needed light side stuff.
Are we really still under this impression that the light side of the Force is just as strong as the dark side of the Force? Come on.
It depends.
Christian.
It depends.
The cards are on the table.
Dark side didn't seem able to do it against Palpatine.
Okay, well, but here's the thing I have. Because if you have Darth Vader, right. I would almost rather take Darth Vader by himself against Palpatine simply because I don't know how Vader and Maul work together. I don't know how if they have good chemistry.
Vader knows he needed somebody else. That's why he tried to recruit Luke.
But if they have good chemistry, then I think they could defeat Palpatine. One-on-one, I would say Palpatine defeats either one of them. But if they work well together, but if it turns into like a James Harden, Kyrie Irving situation where there's only one ball, luckily you can bring your own lightsaber to this party. I'm taking Maul and I'm taking Vader to take out the old man.
All right, fair enough.
Did they actually fight and they lost?
No, they didn't. Maul was scared shitless of Vader. He was in Rebels. He felt his presence and didn't hauled ass because he knew he would have gotten this.
One of the many great things about the greatest Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi, is because by that point we'd only seen one hologram of Palpatine. We're like, who the hell is that guy? When the I can't remember his name, the guy who's picking up Vader at the airport. At the beginning of Return of the Jedi, he's like, the Emperor's coming here. And you hear the brick shit out of his asshole.
And he's the Emperor's not as forgiving as I am.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, you're not the most forgiving. You know what? Sorry I said anything. I'm going to go back to work.
Yeah, I'm good. We will double our efforts. All right, before we move on, you said there's some other stuff that you're watching?
Severance on Apple Plus, man. Can't get enough of it.
Severance?
So let's pretend like you work at, let's say you work at a top secret location. Let's say that you have anything to do other than sit in this cacophony of free Blu-rays and just watch and entertain yourself with the dude. and you had a real gig, and let's say this gig was like, let's say you worked at like a think tank, you know, because like they're kind of mysterious. So this is the work that this company Lumen is doing is so top secret that if you sign on to be an employee, they do this operation to your brain called Severance, where basically once you're at work, you have no memory of who you are on the outside.
It's just work.
And when you're outside, you have no memory of what you do at work. And
Who's
there's
in this
this
show?
elevator. Adam Scott plays the lead.
I've seen the trailer.
Ben Stiller's the director.
I've seen the poster.
Well, you hear the names like Stiller and Scott, and you're like, okay, well, is this some sort of yuck fest? And there are very dark comedic elements to it, but it's a mind trip, man, because like you're wondering, because basically what's going on is that this corporation is up to no good, and Adam Scott is really having a tough time figuring it out because he's got this guy that escaped from work somehow, and he's the one on the outside who's telling Adam Scott, like, hey, man, you got to do this, but it's so hard when you don't have half your brain half the time.
It sounds like a Ayn Rand meets Dark City kind of
dude
story.
It's just I don't know how it's going to end up, but man, am I locked into it right now.
Yeah, it sounds pretty interesting, and I think the other one that I saw, I thought of the Schmoes immediately when I saw the trailer for this. It's that I forget what the name of the show is with Anne Hathaway and Jared Leto about WeWork. The We Crash.
I had the same thought. Is there going to be a post-credit scene where it's Makuga stumbling across the street to Buffalo Wild Wings?
It's on the wall over there. The Schmoes Know show was from the WeWork offices for Toad Hop. So
the WeWork one and the Uber one, I need to watch. So we'll talk about those next
Uber
time.
show too.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh wow!
And a couple other people. Uma Thurman's in it.
About how they started Uber.
It was the battle for Uber. I think it was like it might have either been the battle for Uber initially, or when when a bunch of drivers went on strike.
Okay.
About them kind of sorting out their payment situation, their employee structure.
Got it.
So anyway, either way, it looks fascinating. Kyle Chandler's also in it, and I'll watch Kyle Chandler in anything.
Great cast.
I'll run through a brick wall for that guy.
All right, and then the Batman. Like, dislike, too long?
Liked very much. Too long, but liked very much.
Me too.
Very, very dreary. And the thing about it was, I walked out of that movie, and I felt like I lived in Gotham City. Yeah. And I felt like I had been rained on for 3 hours, and I just wanted a shower and a vacation.
They set it up very well, the way the atmosphere, and Gotham is an absolute character in this.
It is movie. More. It was hard for me to imagine Gotham being more of a shit show than it was in the Nolan trilogy. Yeah. Because it ain't doing well in the Nolan trilogy. I mean, it feels like a normal big city, more or less, in the Burton Batmans.
Yeah.
And then I don't care about the other two. But then with the Nolan one, it's like, man, somebody needs to clean. If that Gotham had an underbelly, this thing is like Fat Bastard's underbelly. Right, it's just there's so much grime and lint.
Well, did you feel that? I mean, so I know our mutual friend Scott Mance didn't agree with this, but I actually agree with it tenfold. I think it had a very much David Fincher feel to it with Zodiac and
I did, yeah.
And Seven.
I think people loved the detective angle here.
Yeah, I love that.
And I thought it was the right way to go.
Yeah.
I feel like after a while, it's like, can we just figure out which goddamn bird this is?
Oh, see,
and move on.
The film noir stuff.
It's like, is it a pigeon?
Stuff.
No. Is it a bat? No. Is it a falcon?
Stuff.
Like okay.
I loved that.
It was good. So if I was going to score it, I'd probably give it like 4.1.
I went lower.
Out of 5 Schmoes?
Yeah, I went a little lower, but I probably will change my score when watching it again. But only reason I went lower was there's really not much I don't like about it except like the length, and I thought the ending was more comic booky than the rest of the movie was.
I felt the length for sure. Yeah. I felt that ending a little bit. What are you talking about? Like the spoilers? I guess the spoiler if you haven't seen the. No, we don't have to.
Go ahead. But just
that the ending has Batman sort of changing his tune as to how to approach his job.
That was okay. No, I
thought that was necessary to set up whatever we're going to be.
I did too. I meant the entire movie is this, as I said, Fincher directed Zodiac story, and then the ending seemed like whether it was a Nolan Batman
then we blow
ending.
Up a dam.
Yeah, well, inside of the Madison Square Garden thing, the Gotham Square Garden, which I loved, but it felt like a traditional comic book movie, and people are, what is a comic book movie? But it wasn't through
the whole. At some point, it's got.
Yeah, right, and I guess that's what they had to do, but like I said, that's over my first viewing. My second viewing, now that I know it's a 3-hour movie, that was the reason. Like I would watch, certain scenes, and I'm like, did that need to be that long?
Yeah, I was a tired puppy when I saw it.
But I think now that I watch it, now that I'm prepared for the length of it and knowing what's coming, I think that because next time I watch it's coming on HBO Max. It's gonna be on HBO Max in like a month.
Yeah,
and
the reason why I scored it as high as I did is there is not a bad or even just a mediocre performance in the house.
I agree. And I probably could go to 4. I could probably go to 4.
Knocks it out of the effing park. And watching Batman and Catwoman, I kind of love where we are as a society with Catwoman now, where it's like she doesn't have to just be this stock villain.
Right.
And Michelle Pfeiffer played Catwoman great, but that was when we started to turn the page on Catwoman a little bit, because it's like, well, I kind of like her. Can we have her do some maybe anti-hero, maybe not good, not bad, just out for herself kind of stuff? Yeah. We got that in Batman Returns to some extent, and now we just continue down this road of her having her own kind of story and not just being like, see, I'll go team up with the Penguin.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that that's what I liked about it a lot, is that the tone, and I agree with you 100%. All of the performances, there's not one, whether it's Colin Farrell disappearing into the Penguin.
Good luck with that makeup on HBO Max, pal.
Shit. Paul Dano being as creepy as he ever has been. Everybody in the show, I mean, the movie is absolutely just lights out, and the directing is fantastic. And I think that, like I said, I really want to watch it again. My score, I could probably even talking about the movie, I could probably go up to a 4 right now. But then watching it again, I might score it even higher. I don't know. I have to check it out again. The music it's some of Michael Giacchino's best.
I did like the score too. I'm just trying to put myself, like, let's say that I played the Riddler in this, right?
Yeah.
And let's say that I had Paul Dano's career. I don't want to put this on his shoulders, but like, if I had Paul Dano's career up to this point, if I go on a date with some lucky lady for the first time, I am doing everything in my power. I am fun. I'm light.
Right.
I'm talking about like, oh yeah, I watch Euphoria. Like, I'm just Euphoria. Like, I'm talking about whatever the kids are talking. I don't want to come off as this like weirdo creep.
And you lead with Euphoria?
Maybe I wouldn't lead with Euphoria. I just watched it. I had to binge it, and it's still on my mind.
I can't do it.
I can't get out of my head how much more drama they had in high school than I did.
See, I can't watch Euphoria.
It's a really well done show.
I heard. I can't watch it because I have kids. So I don't want to watch it.
It's remember when you couldn't make the screening for Prisoners?
Yes.
And I texted you afterwards.
Do you remember why I didn't make the
Yeah, your kid had a thing.
Yeah, dude.
But because I remember you texted me when I had a text on my phone from you when I got out, and it was like, how was it? And I was like, it's great.
But don't see it.
And never see this movie.
I did see it though.
I think I said it's great, and never let your wife see this movie.
Yeah, and she watched it too though, and she was watching it like, I mean, this is a spoiler for Prisoners, for God's sakes, and we just spoiled Batman. But we were watching.
I'll spoil Top Gun right now.
Oh my God! The fact that the kid was okay, it was.
I mean, okay is a strong word,
but survived.
Yeah.
Rub
some dirt on it.
Had the kid not survived, then
we got a problem.
Again, Paul Dano we're talking about here. And if the kid had not survived, then that's not a movie then I would have watched with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid survived, so it was like, and it's definitely not an easy watch. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, look. You got to come back on. You've been away for way too long.
Well, no, that's what I do. I purge all this crap
4 months.
And you know. Hey, I watched stuff this time.
You did, and
Came
look,
prepared.
And talking about people who should be watching stuff, you guys should be watching the Titans. Oh, not that.
Man,
should be watching.
Are
Titans.
you this bad with every guest?
Yes.
Or when I come down, does it
keep talking? Yeah, you keep talking. Yeah, your microphone's off. You wouldn't know that because your headphones don't go on. Friday Night Titans. If you missed it, Sam Levine against the Barbarian.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, well, it happened already.
That's a lot of fun.
But the winner of that match plays this Friday against Marisol McKee.
That's going to be fun, too.
For the championship. So make sure you head on. That's pay-per-view, and you can go to patreon.com/Schmoedown, or we are going to put last pay-per-view, we weren't able to do the single buy, but you can do that this time around.
Can't believe Levine defeated Kentucky and Barbarian beat Iowa. Yep. Will Marisol McKee upset Duke? Find out. My worlds are colliding.
Well, for the Duke of Ellis, I am...
Don't you ever lump me in with that university.
No, I'm just calling that your title. You're the Duke of Ellis.
No thanks.
No?
I recuse myself.
All right, for the
title.
For the Forest of Wake. It is now me.
It's as good as it's going to get.
That's pretty much. Jack Nicholson. Shut up, kids. All right, listen, get out of here.
Hey, Summers, here's a pie to the...
Oh, watch that clip if you haven't seen it. He really punched him. He punched him with a pie.
Assault.
He punched... That's... Okay. That happens today. Whoever does that, canceled.
They're not canceled. No.
Are you kidding?
No, they're not.
Are you kidding? For assault on... That person should be... It depends on who they assaulted.
If it's the same two people...
Today?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine?
It's fine.
I don't know if it's fine.
If Burt Reynolds had done it to Billy Barty, we might have an issue.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel, and again, Did
you ever see the clip when he kicked Emmanuel Lewis?
Burt Reynolds?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say how long is this guy's rap sheet?
No. All right. Anyway, listen. Get the hell out of here, everybody.
Turd Ferguson, indeed.
That's right. We love you all. We appreciate you. Check out Big Thing. Check out Sith Council. A lot of reviews coming. I got that review up of the Sandra Bullock thing. Moon Knight coming out. All that stuff. All right. Peace out, everybody.
He needs some milk.